Queensland Super Welterweight title, all thanks to Oxworks. As we introduce first, fighting out of our red corner, he weighed in at 67.35 kilos. He trains under Dundee Kim, and he fights out of the Dundee Boxing and Fitness Club in Brisbane. Here's Gabriel Kafi. In our blue corner, he weighed in at 67.05 kilos. He trains under J Toop, and he fights out of the Gold Coast PCYC, Will Power Parsons.
Red, blue.
This title to be contested on 8 freedom rounds of boxing.
Obey my commands at all times, protect yourselves at all times. I want a good, clean fight. Touch gloves, good luck to both of you.
Seconds down. Round one.
Well, guys, this is fight 5 for the night, and it's our first of our 3 title bouts, and it's being fought for the Queensland State Champion honours in the Super Welterweight division. Boys, obviously both of these guys have actually fought each other in their last fight, so it makes it even more interesting.
Yeah, a very intriguing matchup this one is. So both boys fought each other in November last year.
Yep, that's right.
Majority win went to Will Parsons.
Correct.
I believe, but since then, both boys have actually changed corners as well. So we've got Gabriel Kafi, now trained by Dundee Kim. We've got Will Parsons, now trained over at the Gold Coast BCYC by the Toop brothers. So it'll be interesting to see how this one goes now with some new people leading both teams.
Yeah, and I think this will probably be because of that very reason that they fought each other last fight. I think there will be no warming into this, and it will just be probably a continuation onto their last fight because both boys obviously know each other quite well. It was a very, very even fight, so that's why we're doing it again. Let's see if the same person wins in Will Parsons, or will Gabriel Kafi change the tables here tonight.
And one thing we saw last night, boys, at the weigh-in, and you can see it again here tonight.
Right, step back, step back.
These are two boys
Step back.
Physically, they look like they have done the work. They both look super fit. Physiques-wise here, they look in tip-top condition. So they should be. Big honour to fight for a Queensland title. And very interesting contest here. The rematch as Kafi lands a nice chopping shot over the top.
And that's right, the last bout was over 6 rounds, and it was so close. Yep, that's why this one's been elevated to the state title honours, because it was such a good fight, both boys being the best in the state at Super Welterweight.
So 2 very worthy fighters for the Queensland title. What a night of action we've seen so far, and wonderful to hear. Now those viewers at home, of course, enjoying all the action via epicenter.tv. Quite a few text, boys, people telling me that Lachlan O'Shea's done the O'Shea name proud. So I said no relation, but Chris George, next to Chris, who's out there watching former Commonwealth champion, he sent me that message through. So good to see that the fans at home are enjoying the fight. What a night we've had so far. This one, another intriguing contest.
Right, step back, step back, step back.
A little bit more time for the boys to warm into this one with the 8 rounds.
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to take this opportunity, obviously, to thank our major sponsors too, Ultra Tune, Toy Box, and all those people at Pivotal Homes. Thank you so much for your ongoing support.
Been quite a slow start to this contest, actually. Maybe both boys have started to take, knowing how close and how hard the last fight was, this one being over the longer rounds, they might be trying to pace themselves a little bit.
And boy, something you'd be better placed to explain to viewers than myself. 8 rounds, it's a lot longer than a 4 or a 5. I know that's an obvious statement, but the tactic changes.
It does. You can't just press the accelerator. You can't. It's not a sprint, and it's not a long distance run. It's sort of mid range. So you got to time your game plan to perfection, so to speak. So you got to make sure that you're winning enough rounds, enough of the early rounds not to get behind, but you also have to have enough gas in the tank at the later end of the rounds that you can actually come and finish home the stronger of the two.
See some of the highlights here from the opening round of action.
So it's almost like both boys, feeling each other out, but I'd say the majority of the scoring shots actually probably come from the Kafi corner.
Yeah.
And we saw that shot there. That was probably the most telling blow of the opening round. A nice little straight right hand that he found over the top. Gabriel Kafi there and Dundee Kim in the corner, giving the instructions.
But very even round nonetheless. I think both boys will come in with similar momentum from that one, not knowing how the judges would have scored it.
We're approaching the Adam Lovelock round number 2.
Here we go. I like how composed Kafi looks. He's really got that nice stance, boxing well on the back foot, coming forwards as well. Very traditional Dundee Kim type style. You can see he's obviously taken that on, that he's gone over and changed camps.
Yeah,
Nice
Gabriel,
right hand too.
originally from South Sudan, now calling Brisbane home. All the fans out there.
Right, step back, step back, step back. Take the plane, boys.
Another thing about Will Parsons is he's very willing to fight as well. So I think if Kafi wants, that's probably why he's boxing a lot better as well. As if he wants to go in and trade, Will be very willing to trade.
Oh, I agree.
Would have learnt that from the first fight. Nice right hand there by Kafi.
Very good right hand there from Kafi.
We've seen Kafi around the domestic scene for quite some time. I think quite a talented fighter that's always shown glimpses of a lot of ability. I remember seeing him fight Tyson Best. When Tyson Best won a Queensland title, he gave Tyson Best fits early in that fight. From memory, I think he even scored a knockdown early in that particular contest before Best came back to win the fight. But he's a fighter with such natural ability. And we've seen that so early here. He's got such sharp hands. That right hand, when he's had that opportunity, he's really landed it.
Yeah, Gabriel's never been one to take an easy fight, so he's actually only got a 50% win record, 50% win, but obviously before this fight, but domestically he's fought everyone. He's fought the best of the best. He's fought Billy Lamov, Tyson Best, Matt Hartman. He's fought everyone, so he's never shy of a contest. Gabriel Kafi.
I think what we'll start to see Will Parsons do soon is start to kind of throw some of those more almost desperate type wild bombs, as I think the style might start to frustrate him, where Kafi's boxing in that range, just landing those jabs, landing that right hand can get frustrating at times that he's not wanting to go and engage. So we'll start to see Parsons, and I don't think that's going to be a good thing right now, because the way that Kafi is boxing, it'll make him miss, and Kafi shots will make him pay. He's got that beautiful long right hand landing so often.
You can actually see there's been massive improvements already in the short time that he's been with Dundee Kim. You can see he's actually thinking about his shots. He's placing his shots a lot better.
Nice little left hook there as well.
He's not rushing in, is the key thing.
Right, step back. Get your head out of it. Get your head out of it.
So I think that almost pressure type style Parsons is trying to get as well, and land like that. Will that last? How will that go over 8 rounds? We'll start to fatigue as this fight goes on too.
Right, step back, step back. You're holding in there, it's trying to work. Stop holding. Box. Right, step back, tidy it up.
Forearm in the face there by Will Parsons.
And referee Paul Tapley earning his paycheck here tonight in this one. Both boys tangle up quite a lot there towards the back end of the second round, scheduled for 8. Let's have a look at the highlights coming through here. Queensland title on the line here. Will Parsons and Gabriel Kafi.
A little bit scrappy at times. Obviously, Will Parsons trying to bury in, trying to get closer to his opponent, so it's becoming scrappy. Sometimes they're getting tangled up. Sometimes obviously the referees has to break him, having to break them, but they're both willing. It's just I'm a little bit concerned about Will Parsons rushing in at times. If he gets caught with one of those shots coming in, it would be good night, Charlie. Especially
as the fight goes on, as he starts to fatigue a little bit as well, and the timing will get better for Gabriel Kafi. Will start to find more of a home for that right hand that he's landing already.
So getting down to round number 3 of our big card here from the Star on the Gold Coast. Thanks to the major sponsors here that help make Heavy Hitters possible tonight. Thank you to Ultra Tune, thank you to Toy Box, thank you to Pivotal Homes, Zoo Creative, Oxworks, and all associated sponsors of the Ace Boxing Group for presenting our big card of fights here tonight. Support those who support Ace Boxing as we move into round number 3. Our first of the title fights on our big card tonight.
Oh, nice left hook there.
Right. Yeah, it was a left hook, right hand, both hitting the mark there from Will Parsons.
Paul Tapley not happy with Will Parsons fighting dirty and close. There's Parsons again with another lunging in overhand right. Kafi trying to stay at that distance.
Right. Step back.
I know over the career of Will Parsons, he has had some shoulder injuries, and you can almost see why, where he's landing some of these shots at those awkward angles there. You can see that it's not the best for that, the way that shoulder will land.
Right.
Fighting in, wrestling like that. Very willing fighter he is.
Yeah, both heads coming together there. It might be a split eye here on Will Parsons.
Oh, quite a big cut there.
Yeah, I think so.
Calling the doctor over to inspect it.
You come over here too.
Both boys getting checked by the doctor.
Look at their cuts, please. Over here. Both ears.
Obviously, any cut above the eye is a big no-no in boxing, because obviously the blood streams down into the eyeball, obviously impairing the vision. So that's a big no-no. That's why the doctor's checking it out here, making sure that the cut isn't going to impede the vision of Will Parsons.
Quite a big gash there as well. As we haven't seen 4 rounds go, if the doctor was to stop this one, we would go to a draw for an accidental head clash. But it looks like the doctor has given the all clear for the go-ahead.
Yep. Right. Time in. Box.
That's a big cut.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Oh, triple jab there by Parsons coming forward. You'd think both boys will start to target these cuts now.
Yeah, it might throw caution to the wind here. Obviously, Will
clash of the
Parsons.
heads.
Your head's in there. Watch your head's in there. Box.
Oh, Parsons coming forward very aggressively.
These heads are coming together.
Step back.
We've had all the Southpaw Orthodox fighters.
And now it's the 2 Orthodox fighters that are button heads. It's just the way that Will Parsons
You can see
is
them
just
working.
He
burrowing
just
in.
wants to fight, doesn't he?
Step back. Step back. Box.
I think Parsons' corner knows that he's starting to eat those long shots at distance, so they want to take that distance away from him. Get it in there and make the fight rough.
One punch I haven't seen Gabriel Kafi throw, which is perfect when somebody rushes in on you, is the uppercut. And he hasn't thrown it yet. Hopefully he finds it soon.
Step back. Stop your wrestling in there.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%, Nathan. Both boys haven't thrown much to the body either. All just coming in with that big head hunting style.
Yeah, just head hunting both.
Step back.
Paul Tapley's earning his paycheck here tonight. That cut's getting bigger on Will Parsons' eyebrow.
Right. Step back. Step back.
Corner will be desperate for this round to end to try and have a chance to work on that cut. There's still a long time to go in this bout.
Yeah. Right. Step back.
With the styles of both boys getting in close, Parsons taking away that distance. I think this cut is going to be quite bad by the end.
Ready, zone, go. Work out of it.
That sees the end of round 3. It is an 8-round contest. All state titles are fought over the 8x3 minute duration, so we've still got a fair bit of time, like you said, Adam, in this one.
I think that was a much better round for Will Parsons. Moving forward, taking that distance away, started to land some more shots. It's almost like as soon as he got that cut, he felt that desperation that he needed to come in and score. So it'll be interesting to see how the 4th round comes now, whether Will do much more of the same or whether the corner will tell him to try and protect that cut a little bit and not be so rough.
They're doing a lot of work in close here by design, or not by design, it's the fact that they're clashing and getting in there as we see them working on this cut here. But Will Parsons is physically, looks bigger in the legs, thicker in the body. Do you think, will that have an impact just in leaning on Kafi in terms of fitness-wise as we get into the back end of these rounds, sapping energy away from Kafi, who certainly wants to fight off that back foot and is the slighter build of the men. You can see in Parsons' build and his legs is a lot thicker.
Over in the red corner, we have cut man Stephen Edwards. He's working on Gabriel Kafi from the Jeff Horn corner, so I think he's going to be very experienced on working on cuts. Stephen Edwards will be.
Head down, Will. Box.
You can see. Oh, nice jab there by Will Parsons. Right on that cut as well.
In there.
Sorry, Stephen Edwards. I think he's just undone your work.
And look at those heads coming together. This is not a good sign for those cuts.
No.
Oh, nice right hand there as well. How strong is Will Parsons?
Yeah.
How rough is he getting with this fight?
He's definitely the stronger of the two.
Tighten it up. Box. Break. Step back.
I just like to see Kafi throw that uppercut. He's coming in. He's begging for one. Both boys trying to fight at distance, but it's not going to last long.
Kafi turning to southpaw now. I'd say it's the wrong stance to be in with that cut, exposing it right over there, almost staring at Will Parsons.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that either, to be honest.
Right, step back, step back.
I really like
back,
what you're
Will.
saying, Nathan. I think Kafi should be sitting on that back foot now, kind of wait for Parsons to run in and throw that right uppercut straight up the middle.
Yep, and he'll come to him. He'll knock himself out with his own power, you know, with his own force. So you just got to time it and it'll work. But
Nice right hook there by Parsons.
Parsons has timed his own shot.
Box.
Oh, another rushing, and look, that cut is looking covering the face of Will Parsons.
Yeah, this is 100 to 1 to go the distance at this stage. If they keep on fighting like this, I can't see it. He's going the full way.
Paul Tapp having a close look at that cut again there as he separated the two fighters.
Yeah, it's getting definitely worse. The cut's getting longer and deeper.
Right, step back, step back, step back, Will.
Oh, another right hand.
Let his arm go.
Less than a minute to go in round number 4. Once 4 rounds get scored in the books, we can go to the cards from accidental headbutt. So I think it'll be interesting to see how this one would be scored. Tough one to judge. Been very close much of the fight.
I think it's obvious, isn't it, that the Parsons camp know that, and that's what they've signalled, that the importance now of getting through these
Getting some rounds back.
winning these rounds.
Right. Possibly drop the first 2 rounds being outboxed and won the third, so this round's a crucial one to bring back.
Parsons goes over the top. It's a good clinch there from Gabriel, just tying him up, not making or allowing him to do anything in close.
Step back.
Round 4 comes to an end.
So this one, if it gets stopped on a cut, like Adam was saying, will go to the scorecards.
Stephen Edwards in the red corner, straight in there, working straight on that cut of Gabriel Kafi. Over there we've got Luke Toop working on the cut of Will Parsons as well. Looking at the highlights here, we can see both boys rushing in there, similar to most of the fight. Heads colliding. Very hard rounds to score for the judges.
Yeah, nothing really clean, so it's always harder for the judges when nothing's crisp and clean.
Majority of the round being worked on the cut by the corners.
And look at that cut. That is not a cut anymore, that is a gash.
A lot of Vaseline going in there. Gabriel Kafi's face looking good now. Looks like Stephen Edwards has closed that cut up nicely. Every round crucial right now for both boys. We could be even. Cut could stop the fight at any stage. Could be going to the scorecards. Boys need to win everything from here.
Yeah, it's anyone's game at this stage. Who wants it the most? Both boys coming close once again.
Let him up, let him up.
I'd like to see Will Parsons maybe drop the punch to the body a little bit. Rushing in there with that big overhand right to the head. He's not really finding a home for it too often. So I'd like him to drop them a little bit and then maybe finish up the top afterwards. If you could throw that, maybe a straight right to the body, finish up the top with the left hook, then another right hand, he'd start to have some more success.
Obviously that first body punch too will help lower the guard of Gabriel Kafi, but
Holding it there, Will.
I guess when they're desperate, especially when you've got a cut like that, they're probably not thinking straight or clear. As I wear some claret on my shirt.
In there.
Kafi landing a nice right hook, right hand, left hook there.
Right, step back.
Parsons tying him up and close. It's just almost like Will Parsons is crowding himself. With
Out,
that
go.
triple jab,
Head
he's
out,
landing
Will.
in close, then just jumps on and
Step
crowds
back.
himself.
Step back.
The desperation of both fighters very, very obvious. As we said, it's amazing how the
Step
cuts change the complexion of a fight. And with this one, we were talking about 8-round fight, warming into a couple of rounds, and ever since the cuts were opened up, it's been on.
There was no warming into this fight.
Please don't go.
8 rounds, an extremely long time to have a fight like this, being tied
Step back.
up, wrestling.
Once again, it's being fought for the Queensland Super Welterweight title over 8 by 3-minute rounds. It is round 5 at the moment. 10, what is that, 50 seconds to go in this round, so still plenty of time.
The fitness of both men's going to play a big part. As I mentioned at the top of this fight, you can see physically they both look like they've done the work. We're going to find out in the dying stages of this round, because this has been pretty willing, been pretty taxing on the body, all of the wrestling and the holding that's occurred in there as well. Add the cuts to it, plenty of adrenaline being burnt out there as well. So as we in the dying seconds here of the 5th for the Queensland title.
When you're getting caught with 3 jabs in a row, you know you're doing something wrong. And Kafi's getting caught with 3 jabs in a row, because you should never be going backwards in a straight line. If you're getting caught with 2, you're doing things wrong. But getting caught with 3, you're doing things extremely wrong. As soon as you go backwards, you need to pivot left or right. Make your opponent obviously fall over themselves, or get yourself out of harm's way, because obviously they're shooting down the barrel. So you want to be to the left or the right of those punches.
Yeah, I agree with that, Nathan. And it's just almost like Will Parsons is landing those 3 jabs, but then he's crowding himself, so he's not giving himself enough room to land that power shot. He's almost rushing in without that punch. If he was to land those jabs and kind of keep that distance that little bit, then he might find a home for the right hand as well. But he's just jabbing, running in, shot, hold, tying up every single time.
That's right. He just almost runs himself out of real estate, because he just sending him backwards in a straight line, but then he just hits the ropes and they get tied up.
And he's probably, both fighters probably need a bit of self-preservation there with those cuts that we see that exist there as well. As you mentioned, Nathan DeCarlo, they can't afford them to open up any more, because we might even have the doctor having a look.
Having another look over there. Paul Tapley's brought the doctor into the corner.
Yeah, it's a
Look at
nasty
our camera work there. You can see what the doctor's looking at.
Whoa.
It's almost completely open there.
Yeah,
Not much holding it together. I don't think the doctor wants to let this one go. He's looking over at the referee.
I think this might be called. It's not looking good, because he's having a real hard look at it, and we are past 4 rounds, so we'll go to the judges' scorecards, but this is deep.
I think they're stopping the fight here.
Starting the fight.
Yeah, this will get stopped here.
You can see the camera work there from the crew at home. You're getting a pretty good look at what the doctor's looking at.
And that's game over, guys, because Tapley is going to wave this one away.
This one has been stopped. We will be going to the judges.
Gabriel Kafi clapping. I'm not sure that he knows yet that it's an accidental head clash, so it will be going to the scorecards.
Correct.
Going to be a very tricky one for the judges to score here.
Unfortunate way for it to end, boys, but I think that's part of the sport, isn't it? Once that cut opened up, we knew it was going to play a huge factor. In many ways, probably surprised when as long as it did.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially with a cut like of that size, it's something that doesn't really heal. No. You'll see from every fight that Will Parsons gets in now, especially with that type of style, it will tend to open up. So I think we've got to look at the boxer's well-being here. And yeah, as we said, with that type of fighting style they're doing right now, is only going to get worse.
Another fight we've had tonight, well, we'll probably make the same statement. We could see it again.
Yeah.
Again.
Definitely. I think we'll just replay the whole fight card here tonight so far.
With our biggest 2 fights of the night yet to come.
Yep, Liam Paro up next against James Cherisi from Romania. 10 by 3-minute contest for the IBF International Super Lightweight title and the WBO Global Super Lightweight title. So big fights coming up, and obviously the main one between Dempsey McKean and Jonathan Rice of the USA.
Looking forward to this, boys. It was an interesting one there last night. We know the story. Jonathan Rice lobbed into the country and said his car got broken into. And he said it ain't no coincidence. Dempsey McKean, nothing was missing but his bag. So Dempsey McKean returned serve last night at the weigh-in, and he heard, obviously, that unfortunately Jonathan lost a bag, so he handed him a pink backpack with a pillow in it last night at the weigh-in. So a bit of light-hearted humour there from Dempsey, but there'll be no laughing matter when they get into the ring tonight. But yeah, and I asked him that at the weigh-in, and he said, yep, that's what happened. Dempsey McKean broke into his car, took nothing but his boxing bag.
The oldest trick in the book, that is, from the amateurs. Go and hide your opponent's mouth guard. Go hide it in their shoe, upset the balance of the fight, Brad.
From another country?
Yeah.
From another country?
I hope they're getting drug tested tonight, I'll tell you that much.
But I'll tell you one thing, he is a big man. I know they're heavyweights, obviously, it's again an obvious statement, but Jonathan Rice, I think he tipped the scales at about 128 kilos last night, and he's a big man.
It's going to be the whole fight card named after them, heavy hitters. It's going to be some heavy hitting going on downrange in the main event.
And he's a big man, and then now we're going to find out the outcome here. So we'll go to the judges' scorecards, go to the Fight MC. Dave, I'll let her bring us up
All
to
right,
date.
ladies and gentlemen, just so you're informed of what's happened, on advice from the doctor, the fight has been stopped due to cuts of both fighters, both deemed to be accidental. As we have gone past the 4 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. 5 rounds have been scored. After the 5 rounds of boxing, the judges score the fight. Judge Phil Gregory scored this fight 48 points even. Judge Adam Height and Judge Paul Williams score this fight 48 to 47. It's a majority win, and the new Queensland super welterweight champion, the blue corner, Will Parsons.
Well, there we go. We do have a winner, and it is from the blue corner, Will Parsons. Gabriel a little bit shocked, but well, the safety of the fighter comes first, and that is a big cut. He definitely started the stronger out of the two, Gabriel Kafi, but Will Parsons did pour it on in the latter part of that fight. So they've rewarded that, obviously, and he's chalked up the win and taken the Queensland Super Welterweight title with him.
Gabriel Kafi very, very disappointed, you can see in the ring. But you'll see there now, so he's got the belt, the new Queensland champion, Will Parsons.